Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. We're here once again with another driving vid, and I hope you guys are enjoying the edit that I put together for the last video, because you guys have been vocalizing a lot about my, Look, the way that I work is that I usually just, is that I usually like to speak out loud. So, like, I'm not preparing this, like I don't have a script or anything like that. So I think one of you guys recommended that or something like that, and I was like, no, that's not how I like to roll. I'm not fake. I will edit this together just so you guys can have a more tight video presentation, and I guess you could see less of the uhs and ums if that's not your forte. So I want to talk about VFX because I just watched the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes trailer, which, I'll be frank, is also just an excuse to talk about the trailer, because I did a video a long time ago about the film and what I wanted from the movie, because I love this trilogy. I love the three movies. They're great. I think each of them have something unique to them. They're not just blending the same ideas or the same material all the time. Every one of those movies has a different story to them, and each one of them gets better. That's the other thing. It's not like one is better over the other, like, oh, the third one's okay, or this and that's fine. All of them are really good, but the last one, especially War for the Planet of the Apes, is really fucking good. And the reason for it is a lot to do with its story. It's a psychological piece. It's not an action movie, as one might think when they watch the film, or when they see that title, they might think that, oh, this is going to be an action film. It's not. It's actually much more about Caesar's turmoils and his psychology, and how he's wrestling with a lot of the events that happened in the last film, and of course the conflict, and how that coincides. It's like, it's really, really, it's really meaningful, but also has a personal lens to it as well, which is something that I can't really say about this new one. That was one of the fears going into this, and I'm only judging based on the trailer, and to be frank, I think trailers are very representative of film nowadays. I don't mind the expansion. I mean, I kind of take issue with it a little bit because of what it removes. I heard it was meant to be expansive. They're going to expand upon the apes' culture and stuff like that, which is what I expected. If you saw my video, I expected that to happen. I'm not happy with the fact that it is more cinematic than it is personal, because ultimately that's what motivates those movies. So, and what makes them so great is that they act on a personal lens. So, but also addressing more of the topic for today. Did anyone else think the VFX didn't look that great? I saw the little 7-second blurb they put out with Cornelius, or is that meant to be Cornelius, by the way? Because I heard conflicting reports. I heard his name was Noah, and then other places they call him Cornelius. So who is he? Is he meant to be Cornelius? Because I would think that's who he is. And then the orangutan, is that Maurice? I've heard elsewhere that's not Maurice. And then the last Ape of the trailer, I would presume that that's supposed to be Rocket, right? Am I wrong in thinking that? Or are these all completely new characters? Essentially just a reboot? Because I said it's supposed to take place after war, so I presume that we're following the sun. But I guess I could be wrong. So, but one of the most, if not the highlight of all the films, is the VFX in the Planet of the Apes movies. I would argue that Planet of the Apes probably has some of the best visual effects that you will see in modern day. It is incredible how they make the apes look. Like, they look fucking amazing. Like, you look at Caesar and the way how he looks and how he emotes, and just the little details on his face. It's so photogenic and so just there, it just feels authentic. It feels real because of how not one on level the motion capture, which is fantastic. I mean, Andy Serkis is just amazing at that, but just the detail level on the apes is so good. Now, I don't know if Weta Digital is the ones working on this. I think they are. I think I've heard somewhere that they are. I think the issue stems from VFX, and you'll understand what I mean in a second. When you look at the other Planet of the Apes movies, like it's VFX wrapped around practical elements. You know, they're actually shooting on a location when they're making those movies. So when those VFX are actually doing their thing and they're interacting with those practical elements, it feels more weightful because it feels like and looks like that they're actually there. So, and that's why it's more appealing. With this, the background is all CGI. So you have CGI on top of CGI, and that's why it doesn't look as strong as before, because they're having to blend in like pretty much almost an animated feature, you know, like almost like Lion King to a certain extent, where it's just like, you know, a bunch of like CGI, and it's just it has a photorealistic look to it, you know. And I just been noticing that lately with CGI, is that like VFX artists love to, I don't know if it's just the direction or if it's just like laziness. People love to pack on, or at least the filmmakers, the studios, whoever is making those decisions, they love to pack on CGI. Like, I remember having that issue with the Transformers trailer, with the Rise of the Beast trailer that came out. That first trailer, I seriously thought, oh, this is just a rough cut, you know, it's not final yet. Turns out, no, it looks exactly like that in the movie. Especially in that forest battle scene where Prime meets Primal. It does not look good. And the same reason for it, where they're packing CG elements. Well, actually no, that was, I think, just crappy CG. But again, talking about just notable bad CG, you know, that's an example of where you wrap CG elements against practical elements and it doesn't look good, you know. Because doing such a thing, like, if it's crap, like if you're not putting in the effort when you're wrapping animation with practical elements, it's gonna show. And I think the Transformers, that last film, I think, was honestly an example of that. Like, it's also apparent in other stuff too, like the Marvel movies. Like, it's just becoming more fake. I heard The Flash had some really bad CG, and there are a few reasons for that. I've heard that it could be from crunch time because of how the studios utilize the VFX artists, particularly Disney and Marvel. They just treat them like shit. You know, they give them this amount of time to finish their stuff, and it doesn't usually come out looking that great. And the VFX artists have been very vocal about that lately. It could also be just direction, just how filmmakers or corporate, studios, how they want their what technology they want to use. Because there's that what's that shit they use in Mandalorian that everybody has been fucking using now, that that big screen that can project an image. Like, I don't know what that's called, but everybody seems to be using that now. And it's so deceiving, you know, because I'm a guy of like practicality. Like, I mean, I don't mind my VFX if they're like, if it's needed, obviously, absolutely. But it just feels like people are using it in places that are so unnecessary nowadays. As I said with like this trailer for Planet of the Apes, it should have been more practical, you know. I mean, I know there's probably some practical elements in there, but it doesn't feel like it. Like, because of that expansion, that cinematic quality that they're looking for this film, having to like show different tribes and all these other things, like, it feels more Dune than it does Planet of the Apes. Like, that's the feeling I got when I watched the trailer. And I'm not a big Dune guy to start, so you know, it's not resonating. There's something to the work being presented that is just off. You know, it's not as fine-tuned as it could be. I've been noticing that lately with VFX. You know, it's been like just getting so packed. Like, why can't we just have films that have a balance? You know, like, there are movies that back in like the 2010s, you know, they just have like a great balance between practical and VFX. Like, I would say, to bring up Transformers again, like Transformers Dark of the Moon, they have some really great VFX in that movie. So they're like some really good VFX. And the reason for it is because of how it blends. It blends so well with the other films that followed. Just no, it's not really. And I think that it has a lot to do with the technology that we're using. It's more CGI elements being packed onto other CGI elements, and it just makes things so noticeable. I mean, just to say in general with Planet of the Apes, I am curious about the movie. I'm cautious just because I love the other three movies so much. But speaking purely from the VFX, it's nowhere close to the other three. Absolutely not nowhere close. The other three had a great balance. This feels more catering towards CG than anything, and that statement alone, catering more towards CG, is basically mainstream film in general, mainstream culture in general. With all these movies that come out, it's CG over balance. You know, there is a favoritism when it comes to the technological elements and in terms of the overall presentation of the film. Like, people really want to make an animated film now, more so nowadays than anything. It's like, you know, yeah, those are I just kind of wanted to do a quick, you know, just blurb, kind of an excuse to talk about the Planet of the Apes trailer, but within that also having a discussion about, you know, VFX and talking about just, you know, just the apparent lackluster effort, you know, or the rushed effort, depending on, you know, the situation. But you guys let me know. Do you guys think that VFX are kind of not in a strong state as they used to be? I honestly think so. Or do you guys think that they're great and they look amazing? There are exceptions, obviously. I was gonna say Avatar, but it's like, you know, I don't really find it that notable. Yeah, not really. Blade Runner 2049. I thought, beautiful looking movie, and yeah, that's how you utilize VFX, you know, and how you balance it out with practical elements. Because you cannot, like, if you're gonna do something in live action, you have to have that balance between practicality and animation. You can't just cater to one over the other, because if it's just purely going to be catering towards CG, then you might as well just make an animated movie. Like, that's just how I view it. You have to find that balance, because if you don't, then it's just going to look odd. So, But again, those are my thoughts, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy this little new format that I'm doing with the edits, just so you guys can see no of the and whatever, you know, like removing all that crap. Hopefully you guys will appreciate this. You guys let me know in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until then, I will catch you guys in the next video.